Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, and share. On this episode of OTR with NGT, we are in the Kwatema Township in Ekurhuleni of South Africa, training with the iconic Sensei Edward Mtshali. Let's get right into it. On the road with NGT. Sensei Edward Kemang outside of karate.
Wow. You mean now your question is based on my general life?
General life, yes.
I'm just Edward. Just Edward, who is not employed, committed to karate. I think this is my 59th year I've been training karate.
Wow.
Reason why I stopped, decided not to work. The reason was because when I wanted to train, because I had this in my feelings, in my spirit, in my mind, and you'll find out at work, they'll come at about 4:15, when you're about to knock off at 4:30, to come and tell you not to ask you, to say, no, you're not leaving, you're working overtime. And yet now you were looking in the last 15 minutes that soon you'll be off work and going back so that you can train. But I felt that no.
That was too much.
That was too much. I wouldn't have had a problem if maybe I was asked maybe say a day before or you know, like early hours before, to say, man, we think that we should ask you to work overtime. Now, you know, during the time of apartheid of the olden days, it was command, instructions, telling, not asking, you know, especially us black people. We were just something that we were like meaningless human beings, you know. Then I said, no. I can't go this way. So they are in power of everything. And so the best thing is to stop working. It was painful. I went through hard life. Those days, you were arrested if you were not working. So I was arrested, I think, about 3 times for not working. They used to say, "Jesa werkloos, jy loop los." So that can is obviously and hierdie land, not in this country, in other ways, under their laws. So everyone is either you go to school or you go to work and whatever. And even schooling, same thing. You know, life was never easy for me. Yes, that is why everything that I achieved in my life, nothing was given to me, even up to this day. Up to this day, at this age, yes, it's still hard.
It's all on merit.
Yes, it's still hard. Now, don't let us not be fooled by people when they say things this is not, especially in the field of the martial arts, karate in South Africa. It's still worse than before, but in a very, you know, diplomatic way. They're doing it nicely now. It's not like before, you know, but you still get the same menu. But now they're using a golden table. Before it was a bronze table, and they changed everything to make things to look better. They were using the silver table, but same menu. And then they came across using now the platinum table. Now they're using a golden table. It's the same thing. That is why if you look at karate, you don't find black people up there. It's not to say that they are not there. It's not to say that we did not have. It's because, to put it straight, oppression affected us. You know, then people decided the best thing, others, they felt that they should stop training. But not to say that they wanted to stop training. No, because of the circumstances. So that is why, I don't know how did they structure this, how did they do this, but it is like that. There is this term that we use us black people that there is this invisible East Berlin Wall that is between us and where we want to go, that is Japan. But now this wall, it has been created by South African. So you can't go through it, because if you want to go through it, you must via Sensei Pete Pampoon, of which is a white instructor. You know, and again, they made it possible that you can't even go to the Japanese without them authorizing you, and of which is unfair. You know, that is why you see today that black people, the number of black people who are doing karate is dropping. During the time of the olden days, the number of black people was very high who were doing karate, and the standard was extremely high, although the grades were low, because no one could grade us, because we were not allowed to go to their clubs, to get into their dojos. I know very well that I was told that I must go and paint myself to be white in order for me to be allowed to get into their clubs.
Wow.
Or I must go and change my surname using a colored surname. There are a lot of stories, but I never stopped. All those things, they never discouraged me. I went on, you know, as I'm going on even today. So if you can look at today the karate organization of South Africa, you look at the percentage of the black people who are in there now, is 5% is the highest. And you go to the styles, because in fact the styles, they are the reservoir, you know, to be the rivers to the ocean, of which ocean is KSA, because KSA is not a style. KSA is not a club, it's not a dojo. So the people must actually produce, develop, uplift, and empower is the styles. Then from there, then they'll go to the KSA. But now if the development is not done there, KSA will never have, since KSA is not a club, since KSA is not a dojo. And the KSA, look, fortunately you are a karateka. Where did you start? You started at the club at a style, not at KSA. And then now you went up to KSA to compete. Karate, not karate style. You know. But now, if they're the bottom there, the meta is not attended at the styles, the KSA is going to suffer. That is why KSA is suffering, because the problem is at the bottom. And that problem that is at the bottom, the only department in South Africa that can able to help black people to unlock those doors at the styles, it is SASCOC and the Department of Sports through KSA, because they don't want to be touched. They are taking this thing as their private entity, you know, and because of their highest number of membership, and because they have money, so it's nothing that you can do. That is why most of them, they don't even care about KSA, because what is KSA going to do for them? Because they can go to overseas to go and participate, to go and train, to go and grade. So what is KSA? So KSA for us is a national structure of South Africa. We are South Africans. We want these colors. We want the anthem. We want the flag. We want to represent our country. You know. But now, it is still a problem. It is a serious problem. And I'm definitely sure that SASCO and our Honorable Mr. Natim Tedwa, he hasn't received the full story about us in the martial art in karate. And for him to get this information, what is happening about us, we must go and sit down and discuss this thing with him, not somebody going there to go and talk to him on our behalf, who is not us. It's like the Japanese. The Japanese, they don't have our history. They were told by people who are not us. But the day the Japanese are going to get the history about us, it is when they give us the platform to sit down with them so that we can tell them where do we come from, where we are, and where we want to go. But as long as they're still having people who are going to them and tell them about us, we aren't going to get anywhere. But now, to break these doors, SASCOC and the Department of Sports, of which these are the government of South Africa, and we are South Africans. So we want to be like them. We've got a future to prepare. That is the young generation. So our young generation in karate, their future is doomed because we are stacked. We must open doors for them. So now my appeal is to sit down with Mr. Mtshali, sit down with SASCOC and tell them the history. Yes, we come from far and we are still having hurdles. Extremely, but in a very diplomatic way. So we need help to take all these hurdles and humps. We don't say we want to have a predominantly black organization, we don't want whites. No. We want to be treated equally. We want to be treated fairly like any other South Africans. Yes, and if a person qualifies to be in a position, to occupy a position, and has got all those qualifications and qualities, let's just not look at the color and the race. Let that person be appointed to that position and work. Yes. We've got a lot of work to do in this country. Yes. A lot. So now, these obstacles, they must be taken away. Yes.
So Sensei, you said that you've been training for over 50 years.
59, over half a century now.
Yes. That's a long time.
Very.
Who introduced you to karate and what keeps you going? What is that thing that keeps you going, regardless of all the challenges that come with just being in the sport?
I don't know. I can't tell. I really, I used to ask myself the same question that we're asking. And every time when I say now I'm about to feel that now I must take a rest, but there will be something that will say, no, you must go to a certain place. People, they need your help there. That is why now I'm all over the continent of Africa. I'm getting invitations all over the continent. And the people are coming to me at Kwatema. They'll spend weeks training, sleeping on the floor. Yes. And all those people that trained at my place, their countries are registered in Japan.
Wow.
I made it possible for them to be registered in Japan so that from wherever they are, they don't have to come to South Africa to go to Japan because we are in the same continent. From wherever they are, just go to Japan. Doors are open. I open the doors for them. But they must do the same, developing other people, helping other people. So they are the ones who are actually making me to carry on. Because I'm getting calls every morning, midday and at night, and
Okay, so who's this one person that introduced you to karate? How did that come about?
In fact, I started by doing boxing. My father didn't like that. He said, no, stop doing this. And then I stopped. We listen to our parents.
Of course.
We don't say why. Like people today, they always say why. And then I went to bodybuilding, and I was doing well in bodybuilding, very well. Now I had a friend who was also a bodybuilder, who had a friend who was doing karate. You see? Then one day we visited his friend.
Yes.
But now it was not karate, it was judo. So they were doing judo under the leadership of the late Samuel Maimane. Yes. So I sat there, I watched there, they were doing these movements, throwing techniques, breaking falls, Then when I went back home, I said, wow, I think now I must go there. Then I went to join. So I started by doing judo. Judo, because karate then those days, we went on with judo, but because the instructor had an open mind, Then he started karate. Yes. Then we were doing judo and karate. Our club, it was judo and karate. We'll train judo 1 hour, and then we'll go to karate 1 hour. Yes. And then those days in South Africa, the styles were shukokai, gojo. Shukokai was under Despota. Gojo was I'll remember the name. And then full contact, the late Shehan Lenban, and then and the late Shehan Stan Smith. Gojuri was under James Rousseau. Yes. And then it was judo and jiu-jitsu. It was only 6.
Yes.
It was only 6. Yes, but today I think we've got over 80 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, development, people are getting, opening their eyes, connection, bringing, improvement into the country. It's great, good competition, good training, although still others are still oppressed, Then that's how I started. Then I never stopped, I never looked back. And last year, we were burying the late now Brian Phillips, the instructor that we smuggled from town to bring him into the township, because whites were not allowed to get into the townships because we did not have a person who could grade us. Not a single white man wanted to grade us, but he agreed. So we had to smuggle him into the townships.
Wow.
You know the car we used, the Beetle? And in that Beetle, I think we were about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we were 7.
So you were also in the vehicle?
He was also in the vehicle.
Oh my word.
You know, the Beetle has got this open space at the back seat. So he came with an idea. He said, no, take all your karate suits, let me get at the back and lie down, and then you stuck all your karate suits on top.
What was going on in your mind at that time? How was that?
No, the thing is, we wanted to see this white man to get into the championship because we wanted to be graded.
Wow.
The main thing that we were training, but we were not getting gradings. Fortunately, the instructors that we had those days, they didn't want to take shortcuts in life. They wanted pure things to be done properly. So we managed to smuggle him in, Man, the sad story. I failed my yellow belt.
Oh my word.
I said, I've been working so hard. But okay, let me go back to the dojo. And I started to train harder. Yes.
So did you feel the grading when he was there?
Yes, he came to grade us, but I failed my yellow belt.
But you didn't stop.
No, I didn't stop. So I went on.
That is beautiful.
As I'm still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who was supporting you throughout all of that?
I beg your pardon?
Who was your biggest support system throughout all of that?
Your
support system.
My support system?
Yes. Was it family? Was it friends?
No, I would say first my family, because if they allowed me not to work, go and train, and to work, how I was feeding them, how I was feeding myself, how I was clothing myself, how I was doing things myself, it was hard. Because I remember I was a garden boy, I was earning 80 cents a day. Then on Saturdays I'll go and clean cars at the park. Open a free parking area, clean cars, parking cars, and they'll give me 50 cents. The highest it was R1, and then I got a job. So I was working there, I was earning R7.60 a week. Yes. I worked there, I think, for 1 year. I left, and then I went to go and work for Suzuki. That's the only place that I worked something like 8 years. But in my entire life, I worked only 10 years. Then I stopped working. I think I've got something like 47 years now, not working in any company. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, my hands made me to survive. My feet. And by not being lazy, yes, my parents taught me how to live on earth, regardless of academic, and because I come from a extremely pretty large family where there was no money for parents to take us to school. So I had to leave school very early to help my parents for my younger brothers and sisters to go to school. Yes. So education, obviously, none. Not a single certificate.
But you've made it this far in karate.
Yes, with karate, I moved on like a Nile River to the Mediterranean Sea. Yes, I think in our JKA, if I'm not mistaken, I'm speaking under correction, I'm the first black in the whole world.
Wow.
To have triple A's, A international instructor, A international examiner, A international judge, and 7th Dan. I graded 7th Dan a long time ago, I think about 15 years ago. I'm on a queue waiting to be invited to go for my 8th Dan. You can't just wake up in the morning and say, I'm ready, you must wait.
Yes.
You must be invited.
Yes.
So I'm still waiting. I'm on the queue. There are people who graded before me. I cannot just bypass them.
Exactly.
I just have to
Follow protocol.
Yes, I think now I'm 16 years waiting. 16. That means they are longer than me.
Yeah.
I cannot say it's long. Because they are not saying it's long. You see?
Yeah.
And I really performed well during my time. And then I became the first black to be the South African national coach for karate, I think for 4 years. And I brought a lot of titles into the country. And then during my time, we won the first All Africa. I was the coach. And then in 1979, when I went to America with the South African Springbok team, I was awarded a special award as an outstanding player amongst the whole team from South Africa.
Wow.
That was 41 years ago. And the award that was given to me, I happened to be the third person to get that award, a foreigner from Americans, because the first two, they were Americans. And then I was the third one, the foreigner, not an American.
Wow.
Yes.
So does that make you the first one as a foreigner?
Yes, because that was an American award. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So, and I won a lot of titles, medals, and
What are some of those titles that you won?
there was a league of a Suzuki Championship. I think it was for 6 months for kata and kumite, and then they had something like 12 trophies, 6 for kata and 6 for kumite. And I took most of those trophies,
Wow.
9 out of 12.
Wow.
Yes, I was just winning kata and kumite, kata and kumite, kata and kumite. And then the last 3, I never went and participate. Then I just stopped. And then they were won by others who took part in. You see.
Okay. So speaking of kata and kumite, a lot of athletes tend to pick sides. So which one is your strongest? Which one do you prefer between kata and kumite? And why?
You know, since I've been training karate for this long, karate's got 3 legs.
Yes. What's the third one? I think I don't know the third one.
Yeah, karate's got 3 legs. It's got basic, kata, and kumite. Now, if your kumite is no longer strong, you're becoming weak, you've got to come back to these 2 legs to recharge,
Yes.
so that you can perform well here. Yes,
Okay.
yes. And my advice to other people, never belong to anything in life that has no basics. Yes.
Wow.
because you won't have a solid foundation of life. Yes. Basics, they are a foundation of life. It can be in any career that you're doing. Rather spend a lot of time working on basics so that you can flow later. Yes. Than to rush and get stuck somewhere.
Wow.
Yes. And then a good thing about kata, you understand yourself better because you talk to yourself.
Yes.
Yes. You see yourself. You understand your spirit. You understand your heart.
Yes.
You understand your mind. You understand your body. Yeah. You understand your feelings. So kata will align you. Kata will balance you. Kata will teach you discipline. Kata will teach you order. Kata will teach you perseverance. Kata will teach you to understand what is rehearsal, what is repeat, what is to study. Because once you understand that training the martial art, doing a kata, it's like studying. And if you are not studying, forget to get the good results. Yes. And what is important again, humbleness. Kata teaches you the humbleness.
True.
Yes. And to have a strong spirit, but under control. Yes.
That is beautiful.
Yes. And the perseverance to understand that when things are not okay in life, kata will keep you busy to say, let me build myself to get out of this situation to be a better person. Yes. Because look, you're not dead. Yeah, so you got this challenge. So now you face the challenge. Because you must go beyond the pain and get what you want. Because everything that you want in life is right in the middle of the pain. So you've got to go into the pain. Yeah, it's like, I would say, right in the middle of confusion. So don't be confused in a confused situation.
Yes.
So you've got to focus and say, I'm going in there and I'm going to get out, I'm going to get that and get out. Because you are not confused. So you're not going to be controlled by any negativity. Yes. Then you can face anything in life. Anything, it can be any way. Yes, you'll make it.
Wow.
The easiest thing to do on earth is to give up, and the hardest thing to do is to start. So once you start, just move on. Yes. A real karate man is like a river, it doesn't go back, it's flowing out. Yeah.
That is true. Okay. I'm a kata student. I
like
love
kata?
kata.
Yes.
You know, I got onto the national team because of kata. So just hearing you speak like that has me speechless. So that is very beautiful.
Yeah, yes, kata it to tell you who are you and what are you.
Wow.
I want to see you going back to the floor and compete. You're still very young. You still have to compete. You still have to represent us, this country.
Thank you, Sensei.
We're going to try our best to make it a point that you go back on that floor.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. And one day you'll come with us to go and help others to go and teach. We'll put you on the floor and now you teach.
Of course.
Yes, that's what we want to see
Yes, Sensei.
from you. We are there to help you so that you can help us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, at the moment, who are some of the athletes that you love seeing perform?
Say that again.
At the moment, who are some of the athletes you enjoy seeing perform?
Oh, well, it's like if you can do a kata, they'll take a seat there and sit and look at you.
So there's no specific.
There's no specific because on each and every person who's performing a kata, I pick up something, I learn something.
Yes.
You see, it's like this thing of balancing. If you can look at people, they lose balance and they misunderstand that it's the body that is losing balance. It's not the body that is losing, it's the mind. Just balance the mind,
Yes.
then the body will follow. Focus the mind, leave the body. Well, I can prove it to you right now.
You did throughout the session. I picked it up a lot of
You
times.
picked it up.
Yes.
Yeah, just balance the mind. Just leave the body. Then you'll see the body will come back and come back and come back, and then the body will be like this. It's not the body, it's the mind.
Yes.
Yeah, because the object, it goes to the brain. And then the brain is sending the object to the mind. And then the mind now will deal with it, and then will tell the body to say represent.
Yes.
You see? So we need a checkup from the neck up. Yeah? And then learn from other people to use your eyes to look so that you can see. Because you weren't able to see without looking. When people say, come and have a look so that you can see, go. And when they say, come and listen so that you can hear, pay attention, listen so that you can hear. And then think, then do. Can't fail.
True.
You see?
True.
I love, especially now, I love watching katas now. Yes, I love katas, and I also like people to demonstrate the bunkais of the kata.
Yes.
To make people to understand that why I'm doing this.
Yes.
And what is the meaning of this. Yes. You see? So that will encourage a person to say, no, I must train. Because now you're bringing something out of that to say, this is what I'm actually doing.
Yes.
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 So now he'll start now saying, hey, now I want to train. Meantime, there's something that they forget. They are actually conditioning this a thing called a masterpieceful thing. This body,
Yes.
of which is the temple of God.
Yes.
It must be well conditioned.
Definitely.
Yes.
This is a lot. I'm taking in so much. I don't even know how to express myself. So Sensei, in closing, what is your message to athletes that are coming up or someone that wants to give up on karate?
You see, to have a powerful mind,
Yes.
you've got to deal with weakness. Because the weakness is the one that creates the fearfulness in the mind. It's an enemy.
Yes.
So you've got to deal with that enemy. Yeah, because sometimes, why do you want to give up? You must find out first why. Are you scared of the pain? Or you can't face the pain? How are you going to live in this earth? How are you going to live? Because life is not straight. It was never straight, and it will never be straight. So you've got to be able to live there. So now you've got to have a powerful mind, the solid spirit, and the strong heart, so that you can control the two with these three. You protect the negativity, you protect the positivity and secure that, and then control the negativity because it's an enemy. So you've got to have the powerful mind. You see now that weakness there
Yes. Yes.
now. Already, that is why I normally say, you are the first enemy to yourself. So karate is teaching you to sort yourself out.
That is true.
Once you get that, never stop. That is why you find a person who worked hard to gain discipline. It's hard to get discipline. Very hard. Discipline is painful. But once you get into it, once it gets into you, you don't want to lose it. And you can pick it up if the next person is not disciplined. And you are not going to hang around with such people. And if now you are willing to help them to understand discipline, then you'll help them if they are willing to learn. But now if you are willing to learn and they are not, you'll give up. Keep away from them. Because you must try to help those who need your help. But there are those who are just, others they don't understand. So you must make them to understand, you know. And they don't understand again how important to be on earth. They forget that they'll never be on earth again. So to utilize the opportunity, you know, and to have that opportunity to achieve whatever you want, you must be disciplined. You must have order, respect. You must be hygienic.
True.
You know, you must work with other people, and sometimes you must be humble so that you can be taught. Then you gain knowledge, experience, and then you'll be like other people.
All right. Thank you so much, Sensei.
Thank you for your time.
This has been a great honor. You know, you have paved the way for every single one of us. You know, and we're gonna soldier on because you soldiered on. You know, because you gave us a practical example. You still are giving us a practical example, and for that we are truly, truly, truly grateful. We are truly grateful.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sensei. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and share. Until next time, me and the entire OTR team are out.